All right, so here's the plot to Mickey 17 from top to bottom. I do not anticipate that you're going to interrupt me too many times on this one, just because it's a lot of filler.
Yeah.
Not a lot of filler. It's just a lot of like repeating the same thing multiple times. So we got this guy. His name's Mickey Barnes, and he's got a really bad friend named Timo.
Played by Stephen Yeun.
And Timo and him open up a macaroon store, and they get into a lot of debt to do so.
Yeah, he convinces them macaroons are where it's at. It's gonna be bigger.
It's not burgers.
It's gonna be bigger than burgers.
Yeah, and so they like a way too much money loan from some really, really sadistic dude who likes to brutally kill the people that don't pay back their loans because he's got too much money, so the money doesn't really matter to him anyway.
Yeah, I think they made a point that he just likes to torture the people who don't pay him back. He gets more enjoyment out of that than anything else.
Right, yeah.
Like, he doesn't care about the money.
No.
What he loves is torturing people.
Yes.
Who don't pay him back.
Which is why he loans people the money.
Kind of like that one guy who says that if you steal from me, you die. Remember that
that's
guy?
the rule.
Yeah, that's the rule. There's
you
one
steal
rule.
From me, you die.
Also,
what a movie.
Mickey learns that, man, running
ain't living. Running ain't living. So everything's just love hurts, basically.
But better.
So
there's no Russians, though.
So Mickey and Timo, there are no Russians, you're correct. So Mickey and Timo get threatened, basically, that if they don't pay back the money, they're going to be brutally murdered. And because they can't pay back the money, they both decide that they're going to try to get a job on this new intergalactic odyssey.
Yeah, colonization type
to
thing.
Go to what was it called? What's the world?
I cannot remember.
Oh man, where is it?
But
they say it so many times.
But it's like I don't know. I guess there've been a few movies like that. I guess even Interstellar's technically kind of like that. Passengers with Chris Pratt and it's just about finding a new place to live.
Yeah, or basically. Downsizing.
Oh yeah. I've seen it. Yeah, I remember that.
I saw one of those weird TikTok summaries, the AI summary videos about it. Have you seen those before? Where they pop up and they're like, this person gets a job on an intergalactic spaceship, and his job is to do things where he dies multiple times. Yeah.
I have seen
they're weird. And they're like 5-minute summaries that show you clips of the movie. Yeah. Very odd thing. Anyways, so Mickey realizes that he has nothing going for him, really, and everybody wants to get off of the Earth because of some stuff happening on Earth. And
I'd like to get off Earth.
Fair enough. And there's this politician that failed to get reelected, that is failed to get reelected 3 times, who is taking these people to this new planet to go colonize on the new planet and make one pure race. We're not going to talk about that too much. His name's Kenneth something.
Copeland?
No, not that one. Probably that one.
I mean, I feel like he's got a lot in common with
Kenneth Marshall.
Yeah.
Played by Mark Ruffalo. And Timo gets a job as some pilot because, of course, he gets a pilot's license like so quickly for some reason. That's even pointed out. And the only way that Mickey can think of to get a job is to sign up as an expendable, which is this like weird scientific thing that happened recently. He's
literally the only person to ever sign up to that, because I don't think there's anybody else.
No,
so it was
there isn't.
Yeah, it was like shocking. They were just like, what?
No, he didn't. He kind of had an idea of what it meant. He just didn't know. He didn't think about the ramifications of the process.
It's hard to.
Basically, they copy your body, and then when you die, they upload your memories into another like 3D printed version of yourself.
But it's hard to even, like, you can't fathom what that experience is going to be like.
No.
So you're basically signing up for something that you have no idea what.
And there's no way to
even
understand
the words they tell you, it's not something that just knowing what it is.
Yeah.
equates to like experiencing it. So
Right.
but you do get the sense that he doesn't think too highly of himself.
No, but you also get the dramatic irony immediately that he's running away from dying by signing up to die.
Yeah.
So that's also funny.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this is a weird premise in the first place, but dramatically funny.
I mean, technically, he's living more than anybody else.
Yeah, he can't not die.
Yeah. So
And he can't die.
yeah, he's almost made himself invincible.
I should, Michael of the future. Please remember to put the title card for Invincible in right there.
Because we got
Stupid.
I know,
Stupid.
I know,
But I like it.
Yeah, me too.
Watch, I'm gonna forget, and then it's just gonna happen.
I'll try to remind you, or put a note before we record our next one. To remind yourself about the Invincible.
We should do that. Put it in the comments. Remind me. So
put it in the comments.
So they go off on the spaceship. Mickey gets all of the stuff done that he needs to get done to start the process, and then he has to shoot himself in the head with a gun. And that's kind of where we leave off the first part of the story.
You're talking about he's like in that
they said
trench.
This is the last thing. No, they said this is the last thing that you have to do to fully onboard.
Oh yeah, the girl, and he was like, oh, she's kind of cute.
Yeah, she smells nice.
And then she was like,
kill yourself.
Yeah, she's like, I really don't care about you, but you need to do this.
Yeah, basically.
Does he do it or does she do it?
He does do it.
Oh, okay.
He does do it.
I forget it. She didn't end up just pulling the trigger for him.
So then we get to what happened. No, because it comes back to it like twice. So on the spaceship, Mickey doesn't really get along with anybody, but this one girl immediately is like, "Hey, you're cute. We're gonna be together forever." This is what we're doing now.
It's the whole scene where they see each other across the mess hall.
Yeah.
Lock eyes, and then she's like,
her name's Naja. She's a cop.
Yeah, she's like, you want to sit over here? And he's like, yeah, because I'm not sitting with anybody else I know.
Yeah. And at the same time that's happening, Kenneth Marshall makes a proclamation that to conserve energy, because they don't have a lot of food supply, no one's allowed to have sex ever. Not until they get to
and then
the
you
planet,
can go crazy.
And then they're going to launch the largest sex campaign anyone's ever heard of. These are actual things that are said in the movie, just so you know. I'm not just saying things like I do to my wife when I read books.
And then it immediately cuts to Mickey and Nasha
making up
not
positions,
not saving up energy.
No, not at all. And then Mickey gets sent for testing and dies multiple times. But he likes Naja because she's there for at least the testing ones to be by his side.
Yeah, you know one thing that I really truly loved.
What?
I loved that she loved him, really, and we see that later on.
Yeah.
How she wasn't just when he came back, she's like, oh, I'm so glad you're back. I missed you. He was suffering,
actually
before he
there.
was dying. She was with him, holding his hand.
Which is
I was like, holy.
Yeah. But there's weird things that happen. Why is it having issues?
Going frame by frame almost.
Oh, that happens sometimes. You just let Jarvis be low frame rate.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
We're in the weird in between realm of seasons, so it can be a little scuffed.
Yeah. All 20 of our viewers will be
true. Yeah, the people who are watching aren't gonna have a problem.
Yeah, they'll be okay with it, I think.
Yeah, but it was weird that they had a couple of off scenes or lines where it was they're not really in love with each other, but they are, but they're not.
Yeah.
That by the end of it, I don't really feel like it was necessary to have those because it didn't amount to anything. Where where that other girl showed up and he was like, "Oh, she's kind of cute," but it didn't amount to anything.
Oh yeah, that was another. Yeah, okay, we'll get there. But yeah, I also felt like I was like, what? I was like, what was the point of her? She didn't have to be in the story at all.
Or him being like, "Oh, she's going off with the other Mickey. Oh, she doesn't actually love me," or whatever, and then it doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little.
Yeah, she didn't. She was
weird.
not necessary for the story. I don't think.
No. Hello.
Severe thunderstorm.
All right. So yeah, they get together. Mickey dies a few times, and then they get to the ice planet where the barbarians are. That's a book joke for some of you book girlies out there. You'll know what I'm talking about. My wife's one of them. Have you heard about?
If you're a book girly and you got that reference, put a like on the video.
Have you? Have you heard of Ice Planet Barbarians? You should look it up later. You'll love it. You should look it up. You'll love
Should I
it.
look it up?
Yeah.
That TikTok you sent me today.
Yeah, I should send the TikTok I showed you today. And Mickey and a couple other people have to go explore the planet just a little bit to make sure that it's... Well, actually, Mickey has to go out first by himself to make sure that it's safe. It's not. So they send him out a couple more times to make the air safe and find like a vaccine that'll make the air safe for everyone to breathe. And then they go on a little expedition on the outside.
And then they go.
Where they go into some ice caves, and they go, yep, it's full of ice. And, oh, no, weird little alien creature. Everyone, get away from that.
Well, I think at first, I think then it goes to that scene where he's kind of like in the ice trench about to die by one of those creatures.
Well, that's why I skipped it, because it just comes back to it.
Okay.
Because it's going to happen. Jarvis, don't spoil a thing that's happened twice in the movie before this pops up. It's literally the first scene. Anyways, they find the little weird creature, and everyone's like, get away from it. And then one of the women takes their gun and starts shooting wildly at the ice to try to shoot it. And then she gets crushed by the ice.
Yeah.
A
fertile woman that is very valuable.
Yeah, a very valuable fertile woman, as Kenneth Marshall would say.
Yeah, he was very upset about that.
Very upset about it. But Mickey also got stuck in the cave collapse and falls. That's when this happens, right? I believe that's when this happens. Anyone going to correct me? No? Okay, great.
Correct him in the
so
comments.
Either way, it happens. And Mickey falls down and gets hurt, and his friend comes to collect his flamethrower.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this one's barely
damaged. He's like, oh, nice. And Mickey's like, oh, you can save me. This is great. And he says, ooh, see, it's a little dangerous to go that far, but you were just going to die anyway, so, like, you're fine with me leaving you, right? And Mickey's like, yeah, no, I get it, man. It's fine. Which is what we open with in the movie, which is crazy, but, like, gets the point across. And then the monsters, the aliens, but not the aliens, the natives.
Whatever creatures are.
The creatures,
aren't they like buffalo roly polies or something?
They're really cool, actually. I like them.
I feel like they're like buffalo type.
Yeah.
Roly poly characters.
Yeah. You ever watched Roly Poly Oly as a kid?
No, I heard about it.
Anyways, so they show up, and he's like, great, I'm going to get eaten by these little roly-poly things. And they drag him out of the cave and basically wave him goodbye, and he goes, why won't you eat me? I'm good meat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good meat.
That didn't really help with his self-esteem.
No.
In that moment, even though they saved him, he was like, oh, I'm not good enough for you? I'm pretty tasty. Why don't you just eat me? That's such a funny thing to hear somebody say.
So he ends up walking all the way back to the spaceship and goes back to his room and lays down. And in his bed is another Mickey. It's Mickey 18. And now there's an ethical problem because there's two of them at the same time. And
it's a big no-no.
The way that the world government back at home dictated is that one body for one soul is what they said, and any instance of multiples means that both of them have to die because of some dude that went crazy. The dude who created the technology, he multiplied himself.
Yeah, like too many of himself.
6
and they
times.
were doing some shady things, some bad things,
and he started murdering hobos. Which isn't me saying that they're hobos. That's what the movie calls them. But that's what that's what he was doing. Is he called it murdering hobos?
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. That's a kind of a backwards way of solving the problem. So solve the problem by doing the opposite thing. Think about it. I'm not going to say it. I'll just say, by the end of the movie, they do what I'm thinking about.
Yes, they do.
Anyways, where was I? Yeah, so they get in a fight. They get in a drag out fight about who's going to live. Mickey 17's argument is that 18 should die because if 17 dies, there's nothing that continues him being him. The him that exists just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And 18 can just die because he shouldn't have existed in the first place.
Yeah.
And 18...
I kind of agree with that.
Which I also, like, fundamentally I agree with. But 18 is also kind of an asshole.
He's just a little bit more rude and aggressive. And
so any selfish thing that he's decided is what's going to happen. And that's how they find. Do you want to come up here? Is that what's happening? Special guest star today, everybody. Millie. Millie, what did you think of Mickey 17? It is raining. You are correct. Said Jarvis saved me from the rain. This is a crazy special guest appearance.
Yeah. This is more exciting than having Steven on the show.
It's true. Millie actually has a lot of opinions about Mickey 17, but we'll wait to hear them.
She's like, more Mickeys to give me more treats.
While the Mickeys are fighting over who goes into the incinerator, Timo shows up and is apparently a drug dealer, selling literal fuel cartridges to people.
Yeah, which is literally the most unsurprising thing considering his character. He's kind of a
And so Mickey 18 is like, we should kill him. I'm going to kill him. And tries to kill Timo, and then some other people show up and they're like, what's happening? He goes, oh, Timo fell into the incinerator. I'm just trying to get him out. You tell anybody about this, I will murder you.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Mickey 17 would never.
And then Naja shows up and they go back to his room. But then as Mickey 17 is following them back to the room, guess who won a special dinner guest spot with Kenneth Marshall?
Yeah.
But Mickey.
Yeah,
Mickey
he wins the dinner lottery.
Yeah, so he gets to go to dinner. And this is where I went to the bathroom. Actually, I went to the bathroom right here because I figured something. It was a good time, it felt like.
Yeah.
So Mickey goes to have dinner with Kenneth Marshall and his wife and a pretty girl.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Where Kenneth Marshall goes, hey, we want to invite you to our fertilization program where you get to bring on the next generation to our new worlds that we're colonizing, the pure worlds that we're colonizing.
Yeah.
And she goes, no.
Yeah, he's definitely giving off dictator vibes for sure.
And Mickey eats the food and goes, man, this sucks. The awful food is better than this.
Bro, I think if I remember, because Mickey gets a steak, but it does not look even slightly cooked.
No, it looks really bad.
It's raw.
Yeah.
And like there's
just
very
straight
wet.
up raw.
It's like a wet raw steak.
Yeah.
It did not look good.
Like a piece of like raw chicken? That's awful. That is actually foul. Yeah, I saw it for like a half second.
Yeah, it was whatever he was eating. It was better than I'm sure than what he was eating, but it still looked gross and not for humans.
Weird. Anyways, he eats it and then starts convulsing and throwing up everywhere. And the scientists come in and they go, we're so sorry. Your lordship, I don't know what they call him, supreme leader, whatever. We were doing a test on him, and this is what's happening with it.
They put something in his steak, in his food or whatever it was.
We're so sorry. And they're like, no, it's fine. Just, do you want us to use the other stuff we've been experimenting with? Yeah, go for it. See, he's fine. No, he's not. He's not fine. Just put him out of his misery. Like, and then Kenneth Marshall tries to shoot Mickey on the carpet in their dinner room while all of this other stuff is happening.
I do think the girl saves him, I think.
She does. And his wife goes, no, don't shoot him here, not on the nice rug. And then she pulls up the rug and she goes, okay, now shoot him. And then the
Marshall's wife.
Yeah.
Not
the nice
wife.
No.
Or the nice girl. That's not the wife.
You're at such a good angle here, puppy. You want? That's for you.
And then me.
I like your little giggle over there. Millie's real stressed out about this. And so Mickey doesn't get killed, and she takes Mickey, the nice lady, I forget her name, Kai, thank you, takes Mickey back to her room where she trauma dumps on him and makes him tea.
And tries to seduce him.
And tries to seduce him.
She's got a crush
and then Mickey
on him.
goes, I gotta go back to my room, and runs away.
I feel like he thought about it.
He did think about it for half a second.
But
to be honest, he should have. But
he loves his wife.
But there's two of him, so
Hey.
what? I am married, and if there were two of you, I would also not share. Is that fair? That's fair. So Mickey goes back to the room, and Naja's like, I was already told about there being two of you. I'm totally cool with this. Let's all make out together. And then Kai shows up, and
she's like, I want one of them.
Yeah, and she's like, I won't tell if you give me one of them. And Naja's like, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. And then Mickey, 18, is watching Kenneth Marshall show off his cool big rock on the TV and goes, someone should kill him. And grabs Naja's gun and tries to go and shoot Kenneth Marshall. And Kenneth Marshall instead almost gets attacked by an alien. And then does get attacked by an alien.
Yeah, they stole a piece of rock from outside and
it had an alien in it.
Yeah, it had one of those baby roly-poly bisons.
Had two of them.
Yeah,
had two.
There was two of them.
And
one of them
Kenneth Marshall got grazed by a bullet on his cheek.
From Mickey 18.
From Mickey 18. And in the chaos, nobody. They found. Is this where they figured out there was doubles? Yes, yeah. And then they all figure out that there's multiples, and because they're kind of racist, a little weird, Kenneth Marshall's like, get rid of those scumbags. But now there's a lot of weird stuff happening, like the weird roly-poly buffalo are starting to circle the whole ship.
Yeah, because they know that the babies are in there.
And Kenneth Marshall says that they're at war now, and the Mickeys are supposed to be executed.
The Marshall's really trigger happy.
Yeah. Naja's also supposed to get killed or something. I'm skipping when they were in prison for a moment. And Naja was like, well, you could say that you saved him and maybe one of y'all will not die. And they're like, you're a little naive about this. They'll just kill us both immediately.
I thought that was a pretty... I felt like she came up with a good idea. It's like,
it was a good idea.
You from the thing he saw
they just didn't want to listen.
Yeah.
But then Timo shows up and he goes, hey, man, I got a bounty hunter out for me. I need to record a video of me chainsawing you into 10 pieces, and they'll just bring you back out again. So it's like, this is not a big deal, right?
Yeah, he didn't care at all. He was not fazed.
And Mickey 17 was like, yeah, man, I get it. It's fine. And 18 was like, no, I'll do it. I want to do it. Let me do it. And then tries to kill Timo. And then they get found right before he kills Timo, and which is unfortunate. And they all get brought into the situation room where the Mickeys are supposed to get killed, and Naja is trying to defend the little baby that's also about to be thrown into an incinerator.
Yeah, they literally have it hooked. It's on a hook.
And Marshall's wife is a psychopath that cut off its tail and turned it into sauce, which was unnecessary.
So gross.
Unnecessary. I think
try my sauce.
It made sense, but it's an unnecessary little bit.
And then they realize that we can communicate with these creatures, we can translate their language.
And so they come up with a really fun idea where the Mickeys can go out and cut off the tails of a bunch of these little roly-poly rats, and the one who gets 100 of them first doesn't get exploded.
For the sauce. Yeah, the other one dies.
Yeah. And so they send the Mickeys out, and the Mickeys instead go to the big mama one and go, hey, they're trying to kill you all. And she said, fucking do it then. Kill all of us, but we'll kill you first. We'll do it. And they're like, what if we get the baby? And she goes, even if you get the baby, one of you has to die. And they're like, honestly, fair. We'll do it.
Yeah, it is fair because one of them died.
They signal to Naja in the situation room to bring the baby somehow. the scientist.
It's one of the diagrams that they drew earlier about the sex positions. He tells her which one.
The PR guy from for Kenneth Marshall is like, in war times, we got to go out and you got to go give like this epic speech about how you gave them the option to live, but they chose death instead. So we got to get you out there. And they take him out there. The cops arrest the wife because she's a psycho bitch that makes sauce out of literally anything, apparently. Which honestly, red flag number one.
Because there were some good people on the ship, and they took over, and they're like, "Hey guys."
Yeah, and they're like, "We're gonna report you for literally all of this."
Yeah,
because you're being bad people.
Yeah, stop making sauce out of weird stuff.
Naja goes and brings the baby to the big mama. The big mama's like, still someone has to die. Mickey 18 goes, time to say goodbye.
He's like, hey, watch this.
Literally, probably one of the coolest things that happened in the entire movie is he goes and hijacks the car, the thing,
the vehicle that they're on,
that Kenneth Marshall is on, gets everybody else off of it and just beats the shit out of Kenneth Marshall.
That was very so cathartic to watch. Yeah, to watch him.
I love a good punch. We know this by now.
Yes,
if it's one thing I love in movies, it's a good punch in the face to the villain.
Especially to someone who deserves it, which he did.
Yeah, for sure.
And Mickey 18 let him have it.
Yeah, and then Mickey 18 explodes the vehicle that they're on, and 17 goes, so I guess we're even? And then everybody's fine. And that's it. And then they have this big ceremony to get rid of the multiples program. Mickey 17, who is now just Mickey, has nightmares about things that are out of his control. But what? You like the...
Orb's trying to turn off y'all's can.
Orb, don't turn off the cameras. That's fucked up. So Mickey has nightmares, and he goes, every time that I get scared of something, I just think what Mickey 18 would do, and then I just do that. And they all live happily ever after
peacefully with the creatures of the planet.
Creatures that are just really nice.
The roly-poly buffaloes.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the movie. Hey, you.
How'd you like that episode? Did you like it?
You like movies? You like this one?
Do you?
You should subscribe to this channel right now.
Also, as well.
Yeah. You got friends? Yeah, you do.
Do you? Hopefully.
Show it to them. Show this to them.
Prove it. Prove it to us you got friends.
There's other videos to watch too. Why don't you watch those if you're so cool?
Yeah, prove you're not a bot. Leave a comment.
Word.